Greetings. I see you've found your way to the dark outpost. Welcome, Patriots. I'm David Zublik, your host on this excursion to the darkest outposts of the human mind and beyond. Thank you for being with us this evening. We appreciate it. We've got a great program coming up for you this evening. For those of you that are Dark Outpost Inner Circle members, John Carman will be with us in the Dark Outpost Inner Circle. We're going to be talking about a number of different things, including the death of G. Gordon Liddy of Watergate fame. We're also going to be discussing the 40th anniversary of the attempted assassination of Ronald Reagan by John Hinckley. Some of you might know this, and many of you might not, but John Carman, a former Secret Service agent under Presidents Ford and Carter, had the opportunity to meet John Hinckley 5 years prior to that assassination attempt. And he noticed that Mr. Hinckley at the time was disturbed. And he tried to warn people. And as you might well know by now, nothing was done about it. And Mr. Hinckley took a pop at President Ronald Reagan, injured a few people, including a Secret Service agent, and critically wounding James Brady, the White House press secretary at the time, who never did fully recover. Mr. Carman had the opportunity to talk with Mr. Hinckley 5 years prior, and even then he was talking about Jodie Foster. Fascinating. So we'll be discussing that and a number of other different topics for those of you that are Dark Outpost Inner Circle members. And if you're not a Dark Outpost Inner Circle member, you need to be. And in just a little bit, we'll tell you how you can become a Dark Outpost Inner Circle member and enjoy the benefits thereof, including some documents, which I think you're going to want to have. All right? All right. We also have a breaking news story about the Evergreen ship in the Suez Canal and trafficked children, thousands of trafficked children. And U.S. Navy SEALs have rescued many of them. Also, many bodies have been found, including, these were children ordered through Wayfair catalogs, folks. We're going to get into that and some other stories as well. All right, so hang in there. Before we do anything else, let's do as we do each night, if we could. Face the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We are getting into the spring and summer season. Past couple of days have not really felt like it in many parts of the country. There's been some strange weather. My in-laws live in Cleveland. They got 4 inches of snow overnight the other night. We here in Michigan, where I live, had a dusting to an inch or so of snow on April the 1st. Not exactly April Fools as far as we're concerned. But it is going to warm up. Things are going to get better. I can promise you that. But that's not going to really matter to those of you who are not feeling well, right? I mean, good weather is meant to be enjoyed. This is the time of year when things start to bloom and people start to feel good. And if you don't feel good, something is wrong. And for those of you who are suffering from things like MS, multiple sclerosis, cancer, fibromyalgia, diabetes, chronic fatigue syndrome, Parkinson's disease, ALS, dementia, or any other number of, illnesses, you really owe it to yourself to get some information. There's a major medical breakthrough, and I do mean major. This thing is huge. And I really believe that those of you who have any of these illnesses, or a myriad of others for that matter, but primarily the ones that I just mentioned here, or if you know somebody that does and they're suffering, did you know that there is relief and help from the suffering available? Did you know that you can feel good again? Really, you can. And I want to get this information into your hands. Now, this is being considered one of the greatest important medical breakthroughs in medical history. And it's published on PubMed.gov. You might have heard about it, maybe you didn't. I'm assuming a lot of you have not. Washington State University is just one of the many prestigious universities that did studies on this, which were actually published on PubMed.gov. And you don't get anything published on PubMed.gov. Nothing. Unless it's legitimate. They do not accept information on that government website lightly. All right? And what they found was that we all have something within our system which gives us the ability to fight off the one thing that is a contributing factor to all of the illnesses that I just mentioned. But that once we get past the age of 20, our bodies can't fight it off as well as it did when we were younger. So we need a little help. Not by taking a drug or something that's going to mask the problem. It kind of acts like a jumper cable and jumpstarts your own body's ability to fight this thing off. And in doing so, relieves the pain and suffering of those illnesses that I just mentioned and that are rolling across the bottom of the screen right now. So look, if you or someone you know is suffering from any of those, again, let me repeat them because I know some of you just listen to the audio of this. MS, cancer, fibromyalgia, diabetes, chronic fatigue syndrome, Parkinson's, ALS, dementia. Look, if you have any of these or know somebody that does, I want to put you in touch with a woman who wants to get some information into your hand tonight. Okay? Her name is Paulette Britt. She's a good friend of mine. She is the most sincere, personable. She's a committed Christian. She is just, her heart is of gold. And she's really a fantastic person. Okay? All she wants to do is get you some information. We are not going to sell you anything. I don't want you to spend a dime. Okay? Not a dime. I want you to get some information about this medical breakthrough. So I want you to give her a call. Her telephone number is 704-579-0028. 704-579-0028. Call her immediately. You probably will get her voicemail. But if you do, leave her a message and she will call you back. She's being bombarded with requests for this information. Now, alternatively, you can email her if you want to. Her email address is Paulette, that's P-A-U-L-E-T-T-E, B as in boy, M as in Mary, at AOL.com. Paulette, B-M, at AOL.com. But she really wants to talk to you in person so that she can find out what you or your family member or your friend or whatever who's dealing with any of these illnesses are suffering from so that she can get the proper information into your hands. And when she does that, you're going to be able to take a look at this information. Please let us help you to make it through and get through this spring and summer and really feel fantastic. Okay? All right. Again, 704-579-0028. 704-579-0028. Paulette Britt is her name. Okay. We have some major breaking news coming to you right now from the Dark Outpost News Center. All right, this is a story breaking just this evening here on the Dark Outpost, and we want to thank the reporter who did an outstanding job of getting this information. We rely on her quite a bit for some very powerful reporting. Her name is Judy Byington, and she's the one that is reporting this story. I want to bring it to your attention right now. Over 1,000 trafficked children and dead bodies have been rescued out of shipping containers in the Suez Canal by U.S. Navy SEALs. Sources say that as of this report, children were still being rescued and bodies discovered in Evergreen's 18,000 plus containers. The containers were on an Evergreen Corporation ship that blocked the canal from Tuesday, March 23rd to Monday, March 29th, causing billions in lost revenue to shipping companies internationally. The SEALs also found weapons of mass destruction on the 6-story high vessel, which were believed to be destined to start a war in the Middle East. Finally, by Tuesday, the Evergreen cargo ship was loosened and taken to Bitter Lake in Egypt. By order of the Egyptian president, the containers were taken off the ship and searched by U.S. Navy SEALs. The Japanese-owned, Taiwanese-operated ship of Evergreen Corporation was actually co-owned by Walmart and the Clinton Foundation. Yeah, that's right. Known for its international child trafficking rings. The children were said ordered out of Wayfair catalogs by pedophiles who paid big bucks for certain abused children. You're not hearing this anyplace else. This is the crap they don't want you to know about. This is what crack reporters like Judy Byington uncover and bring to your attention. This is huge, folks. This is huge. Now, if you think this was just a conspiracy theory, there is testimony regarding this of a brave trafficked survivor who claimed that as a child, she was trapped inside one of those Evergreen human trafficking containers. Now, we can get this information to you if you are interested in this testimony. We're going to add this testimony to the Bundle 2 as a brand new report, which we're making available to you. This will be testimony from a human trafficking victim, a survivor, to prove that she was trapped inside one of those Evergreen human trafficking containers. Evergreen is believed to not only be carrying trafficked children, but weapons of mass destruction. Many other ships that were blacked in the Suez Canal last week were also discovered to be carrying weapons believed to be used to start a war in the Middle East. Why? The weapons were going to be given to the Muslims by the Israel Mossad. Human traffickers are being arrested and cartels busted, losing critical income for their owners worldwide. The deep state operation was said to have lost 400 million lira an hour, while the ships were stuck for a week. That would pale in comparison to what those children were undergoing. Evergreen vessels were having problems in ports all over the world. Why? Why were Special Ops U.S. Navy SEALs magically on the scene to rescue these children? Was the ship purposely run aground? Well, it's rumored that holes in Microsoft software allowed someone or some ones to hack into the Evergreen ship software, take over the steering, and run it into the bank. Now, we might never be able to get the entire story here, but Judy Byington, I can't say enough about this yeoman reporter's outstanding work, and her creds, by the way. I'm going to read them to you in just a minute so that you know who Judy Byington is if you don't already. She is an incredible reporter and writer. So far, the Evergreen ship's captain in the Suez Canal has refused to cooperate. Now, why on earth would a ship's captain not cooperate unless there were major reasons? Maybe the captain does not want to turn over the so-called ship's black box. Why would a vessel of that size from Taiwan list its first destination as the Netherlands? Who's been talking about the Netherlands, folks, lately? Jessie Zaboter. And what's going on with Jessie Zaboter right now? She's running for her life. Her life is in grave danger. I haven't heard from her for 2 days. I hear from her on a regular basis. She contacted me, and I'm going to read this to you again because this is huge, via a text yesterday. You know, she normally appears on our programs every Thursday night, and she sent me this text the other night. Let me see if I can find this for you. Oh, here it is. No. Oh, come on, folks. Well, I've got this information, but here it is. Can't do show today. See Glama's Castle post. Need prayers. On the move with family in tow. Pronto. Will update you when I can in the next day or two. And I haven't heard anything from her since. Please keep her in your prayers. I'm asking all prayer warriors to keep Jessie Zaboter in her. But what has she been reporting on? What has Jessie been reporting on incessantly on our program? Because it's extremely important. The Netherlands. All right? Why would this be important? Why would another article by USA Today not mention Amsterdam? There are lots of significant signals and clues that are currently being released. Egypt could seek $1 billion from the ship Evergreen. All right. And another individual who's one of Judy Byington's incredible sources said Evergreen has been boarded by the U.S. Navy SEALs. They have opened several cargo containers with live and dead inside. The vessel is in Bitter Lake, and the Navy is performing unloading procedures. No images will be leaked, but I have been sent one. And as soon as we have that information, if we get a copy of that image, we will bring it to you. But I want to let you know that we're going to be sending as part of the bundle 2, this information from a human trafficked survivor to you if you are interested in it. It is actually a video with audio from an individual who claims that she was a victim and a trafficking victim on that ship. So we will get that to you if you are interested in it. All you need to do is to get a hold of the bundle 2, and the way to do that, if you haven't already done so, is to become a member of the Dark Outpost Inner Circle. If you are already a member of the Dark Outpost Inner Circle and would like this testimony, we can get this into your hands. Just go to our flagship website, darkoutpost.com. Scroll on the right side of the page so you come to the donate button. Click that donate button. Make a donation to us of $10 for this individual special bonus document, which we are adding to the bundle 2. If you've already gotten the bundle 2, you can get this for an additional $10, which goes to Shared Hope International, an organization that we support that's doing everything in their power to put an end to pedophilia and child sex trafficking here in the United States. And by the way, folks, I need to mention this is critical. Don't believe the bull crap coming out of the mouths of the executives at Wayfair who have been denying for over a year now, if not longer, that they're involved in human trafficking and child trafficking and pedophilia, because they are. And this is where these kids were being ordered from. And the ship was carrying these kids, and some of them just, I would assume they suffocated to death in these crates. Navy SEALs were able to rescue over 1,000 of them, but how many died? There's also weapons of mass destruction on board this ship. It blows the mind. Absolutely blows the mind. All right. Now, let us continue with another interesting story I think you're going to find fascinating as we go once again to the Dark Outpost newsroom. All right, Dark Outpost has learned that children, even brothers and sisters, are reportedly engaging in sexual acts with each other in the migrant facilities housing thousands of illegal aliens in McAllen, Texas. Now, we played for you the other day a video of Senator Ted Cruz of Texas visiting the border, attempting to see some of these kids. He was denied access to these children and their families in these caged activities, cages that are on the head of the Biden regime. Let me play that quick video for you of Ted Cruz being denied being able to see these children.
Please respect. Please give dignity to the people. Please give dignity to the people.
So you work for the commissioner, your senior advisor. You were hired 2 weeks ago, and you're instructed to ask us to not have any pictures taken here.
Please respect the people,
because the political
rules.
leadership at DHS does not want the American people to know it.
Please respect the rules,
You keep
sir.
standing in front of the pictures, so
Please
you don't want the
respect the
pictures
rules.
taken. The rules are arbitrary, and
Please
they're
respect
designed
the
to
rules
keep
and
the
give
American
the
people in the
dignity
dark.
and respect. That's all we ask.
Well, no,
Dignity
it's
and
not.
respect.
You're asking, is this
Please-
dignity and respect? Look at
Please
these people.
give
There's
dignity
a
and
pandemic.
respect to the people.
Let me ask you,
you.
there's a
I
pandemic.
respectfully ask you, sir.
There is a pandemic. Is
Full-hearted,
this respecting the rights of these
full-heartedly,
kids?
I ask you. Please
Are you
respect
respecting the
people.
rights of these
This
kids?
is not a zoo, sir. Please don't treat the people.
You're right, and this is a
As such.
dangerous place.
Please don't treat the
And
people
your
like
policies,
this. That's all I ask for
unfortunately,
you,
are
sir.
trying to hide them. I understand
That's
you
all
were
I ask
instructed
you.
when 18
I
senators
ask you
came
to
down
please
here.
respect the people, give them dignity
I
and
respect
respect.
them, and I want to fix this situation.
We all want to
and
fix
the
this, sir. We
administration
don't
you're
want
working
this to
for is
happen
responsible for these conditions.
Please respect the people with dignity and respect,
And
sir.
I ask you to respect the people as well. This
I am
is not
respecting you.
respect.
I am respecting the
This
people.
is not respect.
All right. So, as we reported earlier this week on the Dark Outpost in an exclusive report, these children, many of these children, are being taken via trucks and buses from these migrant detention centers, and they're being sent to Washington, D.C., where they are being sold via a lottery system to high-level VIP politicians in D.C., mostly Democrats. There have been some Republicans, but it's mostly Democrats. And now we're learning that the kids are engaging in sexual activity within these migrant camps as they prepare to be trafficked to Washington, D.C. The American people would be shocked if they were to see the inhumane conditions under which these children are being held. And this is, again, on the heads of the Biden regime. And a source from inside the facility, speaking to InfoWars host Owen Schroyer, said, an anonymous source from inside a big illegal immigration facility is telling us that the children are engaging in sexual acts with one another, and brothers and sisters are engaging in sexual acts with one another. And children are basically masturbating and doing sexual acts, which of course is a phenomenon. Very odd that this would be going on. Not normal behavior unless, of course, they're being subjected to molestation and rape and other sexual things on the journey. And why would these kids be engaging in or being molested and raped on the journey to the United States? Because they are going to be molested and raped once they get here, when they're trafficked to high-level politicians in Washington, D.C. Unbelievable. But this is what's happening, folks. I cannot stress this enough. We talk about it all the time. But you have got to understand the seriousness, the gravity of this situation, of what's going on with these kids and why we have to put a stop to it. Workers inside this facility are now separating the children from each other to ward off the promiscuity. InfoWars, and look, I'm not a big Alex Jones fan, folks, because the guy, it's all about him. Okay, I mean, you go on his website, the first thing you see is his big picture pop up, and I mean, the guy's a moneymaker. He's not giving any of the money to charity. I donate almost everything that I make from this endeavor to Shared Hope International, and I'm trying to save some kids here. When he pulls this stuff, it's all for sensationalism. Okay, I don't give a crap about sensationalism. I want to get the damn news out there. This is important. Now, workers inside the facility are now separating the children from each other to ward off the promiscuity. Okay. This Owen Schroyer, who I guess is a host over at InfoWars, said, now we know that this is going on, but now it's just happening blatantly, rampantly, and the people inside the facilities have to separate these kids because they are reenacting what's been done to them on the trip with their brothers and sisters. And I will add this, what is going to happen to them in the future once they reach this country. Look, I've told you before, there's a very credible reporter by the name of Liz Crokin. I would love to get her on the show. In fact, she's been lately relatively silent. I haven't heard anything from her in a while. She was the one that did really a yeoman's job of reporting on the severity of pedophilia and child sex trafficking and how bad it is. And she has reported that up to 1/3 of the people in the United States federal government right now are involved in child sex trafficking and pedophilia. There were tunnels under the White House. They have been blown up and thousands of children rescued from there. We reported on that. There are tunnels under the U.S. Capitol, which are still being used by satanic Illuminati pedophiles to rape and torture kids and harvest their organs and adrenochrome. We're telling you about that. Now, I always say that means that 2/3 of the people in Washington, D.C. are not involved in this. However, of those 2/3, only 1/3 of them are doing anything about it to stop this. The other third are looking the other way, ignoring it, a wink and a nod. It's a big deal, none of my concern, whatever. We've got to reach these people to save these kids. I can't stand this anymore. I have 2 grown children of my own, one of which has 2 lovely daughters, my granddaughters. They're like 3 and 5. Okay? God forbid anything should happen to them. And I'm sure many of you have children or grandchildren. Do you want this to continue? Now, okay, the story that I reported here by Judy Byington, I told you I was going to give you her creds, and let me do this because she is just a fantastic report. I can't say enough. She is, she was the CEO of the Trauma Research Center and Child Abuse Recovery Speakers Bureau, former supervisor, Children's Services, Alberta Mental Health Clinical Director, Provo Family Counseling Center, Utah Child Welfare, CEO of the Trauma Research Center. She's the author of 22 Faces, Inside the Extraordinary Life of Jenny Hill and Her 22 Multiple Personalities. She has 2 websites, www.22faces.com and www.childabuserecovery.com. She is not... She's not one to appear on people's programs. I've tried to get her on the program in the past. I know that she watches this broadcast. I cannot say enough about what a fantastic woman this is, for which the work that she's done, and what a fantastic reporter she is. If she says this is happening aboard the Evergreen ship, it's happening. And I'm just the conduit to get this information out there for those who have not seen her reporting. She's just fantastic. But here, let's get back to this. Now, after rescinding the emergency order used by former President Trump to construct a border wall, the Biden administration secured $86 million from the American taxpayer to contract hotels to house the migrants, according to Axios. Biden also waived FBI background checks on caregivers of kids crossing the U.S.-Mexico border without their parents or legal guardians on Saturday. And that's from the Associated Press. Owen Schroyer, the InfoWars host, said it's unclear whether the unaccompanied minors are being placed with caregivers who are their family, traffickers, or cartel. I'm telling you what's happening. They're being shipped on, from another source that I have, which I reported earlier this week, on trucks and buses to Washington, D.C. for high-level elite politicians. They're probably underneath the Capitol, in many cases right now, being abused further. So they're abused on the way to the border by the cartel. They engage in sexual activity with one another because they don't know any better once they get here. And then they're sent to Washington, D.C. and high-level politicians, mainly from the Democrat Party, to be abused again and even worse, sacrificed, with their organs and adrenochrome harvested. This is how bad this has gotten. Schroyer again said, we still don't know if these children are with their parents or who they're with, and they're getting put into hotels with these people. So who knows what could be happening to those kids. Now, some of these kids may be going to hotels. A lot of them are being shipped right on buses and trucks, right on, and I'm talking cargo trucks, okay? A woman goes in with 3 kids. She comes out with 1. Would anybody even know? Would anybody even ask a question about this? The small break-off facility in McAllen, Texas, one of the dozens near the border, is now expanding, doubling in size. These kids are in cages, people. Remember when Trump was accused of putting these kids in cages, which was bullshit? It did not happen. It was the Obama administration that put kids in cages. It was the Obama administration who was involved in child trafficking. It's part of the bundle. It's part of the original bundle plus. This guy, Obama himself, is a satanic pedophile. You've heard Jesse Saboter say he's part of the Illuminati. His wife, who's actually another man by the name of Michael LaVaughn Robinson, they adopted or actually borrowed their 2 daughters from some other couple. The whole thing, this is a crime syndicate. This is how bad this is. It's a crime syndicate. Biden's open border policy is facilitating child molestation. I don't know how much worse it can get than this, Schroyer said. Let's just be real about how bad this is, folks. Call your local senators, get in front of the city council. If there's a facility like this in your area, record it, film it, document it. And I'm telling you folks to do the same thing. If you're in an area where kids are where this is happening, where migrant children are being placed, I want you to go undercover, folks. If you're a member of this audience, take video and send it to me. We will air it on this broadcast, and we will pass it on to the proper authorities and see how far we get with it. We're not going to stop until these kids are all rescued, and those who are responsible for this are brought to justice. This is what I want done, and this is what I want you to help me do. Again, this is devastation to America, a ticking time bomb. What's going on with this open border? And the source on this report, the Gateway Pundit, Jim and John Hoft, the Gateway Pundit. Unbelievable. I mean, it just, I get so mad when I see what's happening here in this country. Let's see what else is going on in the news, folks. There was, of course, you probably heard about this earlier today. 2 Capitol police officers were injured after a car plowed through a barrier on Constitution Avenue on Friday. The driver, who was also injured, was initially reported to be in custody. Later reports say he was shot dead by Capitol Police. The incident sparked chaos at the Capitol on Friday afternoon and sent workers into lockdown. According to the Daily Mail, there were confused reports at first of a shooting that had left 3 people injured, but the U.S. Capitol Police released a statement at around 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time describing the incident as one involving a vehicle instead. So it was not a shooting. It was a vehicle. USCP, which is Capitol Police, responding to the North Barricade vehicle access point along Independence Avenue for reports someone rammed a vehicle into 2 USCP officers. A suspect is in custody. Both officers are injured. All 3 have been transported to the hospital. And this comes on the heels of the January 6th false flag riot by BLM and Antifa, in which they blamed it on Trump and MAGA supporters, right? So this is going to be something else. And the only problem with this thing is, what are they going to do? Ban cars? Now let's call for car confiscation. Because I mean, it's got to be the car's fault, right? Just like it's the gun's fault. Every time it's the gun's fault. You've got to ban guns. All right, that's how bad this thing is. All right, so apparently that's the latest story on no legislators are in the Capitol building today. The legislature is on recess. The National Guard have been present in D.C. since January. We're nowhere near the scene at the time. Nowhere near the scene. Okay. All right. We were also talking about vaccine passports on this program, have we not? We know they're coming. The Biden regime, under the command of, by the way, this is the real president of the United States. I want to play for you the real president of the United States. This woman is a little bit, well, just listen. That's who's really running this country, along with Nancy Pelosi, while Joe Biden is in Atlanta, Georgia, at a 3/4 size replica of the White House, suffering from, dementia. That's, I know. It's bad. The whole thing is bad. Now, we're going to get to. I want to get to this story here about the vaccine passports. Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene has warned that the incoming vaccine passports are the mark of the beast predicted in the Bible. You know, I absolutely love this woman. I mean, she is so spot on. And have you ever noticed that, with rare exceptions, conservative women are hot and liberal women are butt ugly? Now, there are exceptions to this. Tulsi Gabbard is a Democrat, but sometimes she leans conservative on some of her thinking. She's an attractive woman. But you take a look at many of these liberal. Oh, I'm going to get emails about this from some of you people. Oh, dare you comment on people's? But it just happens to be a fact. Take a look at how far we've fallen. Take a look at who the First Lady is right now. Take a look at who the Assistant Secretary of Health is. This is the kind of people that they put in these liberal leftist administrations. That's how bad it is. Nonetheless, Marjorie Taylor Greene warning that the incoming vaccine passports are the mark of the beast predicted in the Bible. In a Facebook video streamed on March 29th, Greene slammed what she said was the Biden administration's plan to document all vaccinated people via a centralized scheme. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said on the same day that there would be no federal mandate requiring vaccines nor vaccination credentials, nor will there be a centralized universal federal vaccination database. Greene said it's still fascism or communism, whatever you want to call it, but it's coming from private companies. So I have a term for that. I call it corporate communism. And she's absolutely right. That is exactly what this is. Greene said corporate communism and vaccine passports would destroy people's HIPAA rights. All right? She said, is this something like Biden's mark of the beast? Well, that's a good point. Is this the mark of the beast? Is this what they have been talking about for quite some time? The lawmaker also said coronavirus vaccines and masks should be a choice. She said that in the video. Why don't we? I don't know if I have access to the video or not. Probably not. Let me check. See if that's something that we can. It is no. I can. I'm going to queue this up and see if I can't play that for you. I'll do it. No, I can't. I can't do that. Okay. I can't. I'm sorry, folks. Can't play the video for you. But it's just impossible because I don't have the ability to convert this particular video on here. So I'm sorry, but I've said basically, I stated everything that she had to say. Here's something I can play for you, though. You're going to find this one interesting. Hunter Biden was being interviewed about his laptop, the one that the FBI accidentally destroyed. First, they didn't have it. Then they did have it. Then it was accidentally destroyed. And we reported that here on the Dark Outpost a couple of weeks ago. And now Biden is saying, well, then maybe my laptop, it may not, it may have family porn on it. Family, you know what I'm talking about? Kids. Check this video out. This is going to blow your mind here.
Now saying the laptop at the center of the New York Post explosive expose last year absolutely could belong to him. He revealed this in an interview Friday. It's a sit-down with CBS's Sunday Morning. President Biden's son was pointedly asked yes or no if the MacBook Pro that was dropped off at that Delaware computer repair shop in April 2019 was in fact his. Watch.
Was that your laptop?
For real, I don't know.
I know, but you know this is.
I really don't know.
Okay.
The answer is.
You don't know yes or no if the laptop.
I don't have
was
any
yours.
idea. I have no idea.
So could have been yours.
Of course, certainly. There could be a laptop out there that was stolen from me. There could be that I was hacked. It could be that it was Russian intelligence.
Our panelists are back. Boyd, John, Wendy.
Russian intelligence. Blame the Russians. Okay. We know what's going on with Hunter Biden. We know his deal. I mean, by the way, I think that particular report might be airing this Sunday morning on CBS Sunday Morning. Okay. Let's see what else we've got. China says, we have control over Western think tanks, election integrity groups, and the Biden administration. Well, no surprise here. China is boasting that it has control over Western think tanks, election integrity groups, and the Biden administration's national security team. This is not satire. According to a report from the National Pulse, the Chinese Communist Party's Cyberspace Administration of China claims to have one of the most critical connections between the 2020 U.S. presidential election, the COVID-19 pandemic, and the groups and individuals campaigning to stop President Trump and his America First agenda. Per the populist press, quote, the Chinese Communist Party's Cyberspace Administration of China has boasted of one of the most critical connections between the 2020 U.S. presidential election, the COVID-19 pandemic, and the groups and individuals campaigning to stop President Trump and his America First agenda. New bombshell admissions over China's influence in both the United States and Europe link organizations such as the Evergreen Institute with the Chinese Communist Party. The Evergreen Institute first rose to national attention after co-founding the Transition Integrity Project, which advised on how Joe Biden could seize power on the back of an ostensible Trump victory. The Gateway Pundit reports new bombshell admissions over China's influence in both the U.S. and Europe link organizations such as the Evergreen Institute with the Chinese Communist Party. The Evergreen Institute first rose to national attention after co-founding the Transition Integrity Project, which advised on how Joe Biden could seize power on the back of an ostensible Trump victory. The news lends further credibility to election tampering theories, especially concerning Chinese Communist Party influence. A 2017 report effectively claims on the CCP's behalf that CNN host Fareed Zakaria, Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey, Facebook Oversight Board member Hele Thorne-Schmidt, Never Trump philanthropist Pierre Omidyar, and many others cooperate with the CCP and its goals. According to the National Pulse, China was connected with the Evergreen Institute. Wow. All right. Incredible. Okay, so now the Chinese admit they got control of us. All right, that's fine. Okay, fine. Trump blasts Biden's proposed tax hike, calls it a classic globalist betrayal. Florida students warned they will be re-educated if caught not wearing masks. Biden enlists trusted messengers like Planned Parenthood to help persuade Americans to get COVID jab. Okay, all right, no surprise there. And another woke thought leader turns out to be a serial rapist of young boys. Let's take a look at that story. This is from News Target. Let's see. He is widely recognized as one of the early pioneers of the woke ideological movement, but the late French philosopher Michel Foucault, that's Foucault, Foucault, was not the good guy that some have been led to believe he was. According to fellow intellectual Guy Sorman, Foucault, who died in 1984 at the age of 57, was a pedophile rapist who engaged in sexual activity with young Arab children while living in Tunisia during the late 1960s. Sorman, 77, claims to have visited Foucault with some friends while on an Easter holiday trip to the village of Sidi Bou near Tunis, where Foucault was living in the year 1969. So Sorman recalled young children were running after Foucault saying, "What about me? Take me! Take me!" They were 8, 9, 10 years old. He was throwing money at them and would say, "Let's meet at 10 p.m. at the usual place." Foucault would make love there on the gravestones with young boys. The question of consent wasn't even raised. The reason there were gravestones is because the location was a nearby cemetery. This is where Foucault lured his prey, which were young boys who had not yet reached puberty. As progressive as it is, France, Foucault's homeland, never would have tolerated such perversion. I'm not sure about that. This is why Foucault traveled to Africa, where he knew he could get away with it. Foucault would not have dared do it in France, Sorman stated. There is a colonial dimension to this, a white imperialism. It's white imperialism once again. Sorman regrets never reporting Foucault to the police or notifying the press. He says it was ignoble and extremely morally ugly of him not to intervene when he knew he should have. As it turns out, the French media already knew about Foucault's depravity. All right, well, and Foucault was the son of a surgeon who dressed nicely and appeared wise. He was among the first celebrity intellectuals of the 20th century to push for the legalization of pedophilia in 1977. He signed a petition calling for adults to be allowed to have sex with children as young as 13. Well, apparently that wasn't enough for him, because he liked him 8, 9, 10 years of age. Okay. All right, coming up in just a few moments here, we're going to be entering the Dark Outpost Inner Circle. All right. And joining us in the Dark Outpost Inner Circle tonight, as he does every Friday night, is John Carman, former Secret Service agent, former customs agent, former private investigator, and former police officer, I believe, for the city of San Diego, California. The man is a patriot. He's an honorable man. He served his country with honor and distinction, but because he was a whistleblower against customs corruption, and his website is customscorruption.com, he has been ostracized by the federal government, denied pensions, Social Security, any type of help whatsoever. He is struggling on a bare bones income and asks for help from you and me. And we're all doing our part to help the man as best we can. And we're going to bring him on. And tonight we're going to talk about a number of different interesting topics, including, but not limited to, the death of G. Gordon Liddy and the 40th anniversary of the attempted assassination of former President Ronald Reagan. This should be a fascinating conversation. Now, if you are not already a member of the Dark Outpost Inner Circle, you should be. Why? Because if you're not a member, you're missing great content like this. All right, all you got to do is head on over to darkoutpost.tv, darkoutpost.tv. I want you to sign up for a 1-year membership, okay? It's only $29.99 for a 1-year membership, all right? And then I want you to do a couple of other things for me. You're probably watching the Freeport, if you're not a member of the Dark Outpost Inner Circle, where you can get the full show. You're probably watching this portion of the program on one of two platforms, either BitChute, BITCHUTE, or Rumble, RUMBLE. Whichever one of those two platforms you're watching us on right now, I want you to subscribe to it. Hit the subscribe button. And then I want you to head over to the other platform that you're not watching this on and subscribe there as well, so that we can get our subscriptions up to both platforms, okay? Because occasionally one of the platforms, in particular Rumble, will take down some of our programs. I don't know why they're doing it. They don't issue me any strikes. They don't do anything along that line, but they just take a video down if they don't like it. I don't know why. So subscribe to both platforms, okay? BitChute and Rumble, okay? I would appreciate it. And then I want you to go to a very special social media platform that I belong to, and I think you should too, and it's called Modern Militia Movement That's modernmilitiamovement.com. It's free, absolutely free, a social media platform for those who are interested in taking our country back, returning it to constitutional principles, bringing it back to what the founding fathers envisioned. And then I want you to go to my flagship website, darkoutpost.com, not to be confused with darkoutpost.tv. That's the video platform. The flagship website is darkoutpost.com. I want you to go there. I want you to scroll down the right side of the page till you come to the Send in Blue newsletter. I want you to subscribe to that Send in Blue newsletter. We send out blasts from time to time, updating you on what we're going to be covering on the program, plus some things you might have missed on previous broadcasts. You're going to want to be a part of that. All right. And then after you've done all of that, I want you to email me a copy of your receipt for your 1-year subscription to the Dark Outpost Inner Circle at darkoutpost.tv, plus the usernames that you used to sign up for BitChute, Rumble, and modernmilitiamovement.com, plus the email address that you used to sign up for our e-blast newsletter, our Send in Blue email newsletter. I want you to send all of that to me via email to this email address, darkoutpostdocuments@gmail.com. That's darkoutpostdocuments, all one word, @gmail.com. And in return, I'm going to email you back one of two things, either the bundle plus 25 reports on the scourge of pedophilia and child sex trafficking taking place here in the United States and around the world, or the bundle 2, which contains a complete Pedogate 2020 update, everything that happened in 2020 with regard to pedophilia and child sex trafficking and all of the attempts to put an end to it, plus the hundreds of people that were arrested, politicians, celebrities, and others, plus a list of all of the deep underground bases on which these children are being held. There's over 800 of them in the United States. We also have reports on doppelgangers and lookalikes. We have reports on everyone in politics, celebrity status, and all that involved in satanic cults. We have a ton of information. We are now including a brand new report on the children trafficked. Well, it's about the children trafficked on the Evergreen ship, plus testimony from a woman who claims that she was on the Evergreen ship. We're going to make that available to you, all right? And you're going to get a complete list of everyone that has been arrested, taken to Guantanamo Bay, tried in a military tribunal, convicted and executed, plus those who are awaiting trial, conviction, and execution. And that, too, consists of politicians, celebrities, business individuals, military industrial complex, and much, much more. All you got to do is when you follow the instructions that I just gave you, and if you missed any of them, please just head on over to this, just rewind this tape, just rewind this video and listen to it again. And then all you got to do is email me to darkoutpostdocuments@gmail.com all of the information that I just asked you to. And in the subject line of your email, let me know whether you want the bundle plus, the original bundle, or the bundle 2. Now, if you already have the bundle 2, and you're interested in getting that brand new report, the testimony of the woman who claims she was trafficked on Evergreen, on that ship, just go to our flagship website, darkoutpost.com, donate $10 to us at the donate point, email me a copy of the receipt for your donation to the same email address, darkoutpostdocuments@gmail.com, and I'll send you back just that report. The rest of you who are not members of the Dark Outpost Inner Circle yet and who sign up are going to get the entire Bundle Plus or Bundle 2, your choice. And if you get the Bundle 2, it will contain that latest report. That's going to do it for this edition of the free portion of the Dark Outpost show. Dark Outpost Inner Circle is next with John Carman.